give me a sec. Just summoning a demon real quick. Oh, my phone's on the floor. So, here's the thing about the first season of Chainsaw Man. It fucking rocks.
Yay, yay. Mirai, psycho. Mirai, psycho.
There's so much to love about this show, and there's so much work clearly put into the finished product that I think it kind of really knocked it out of the park, and might not only be one of my favorite animes of the new season, probably the best one of the new season, but also probably one of my favorite animes of all time. Now before this video starts, I'll clarify, I'm anime only, so spoil shit in the comments. I will come to your house and find you. No, I'm kidding, but please don't spoil stuff in the comments. But anyway, Chainsaw Man has been killing it for so much time, and as someone who did not read the manga and went into the anime knowing absolutely nothing, it was a real pleasant surprise to find the world that I actually ended up finding, because it was so good, and there's one episode left as of recording this, and I'm really sad that it's going to end soon. Here's every reason why you should watch the Chainsaw Man anime. 1. The source material is really goddamn good. Haven't read the manga, of course, I've told you, but I know about the world, of course, and I have done my research about not exactly what happens later in the manga, but the chapters that I've already seen in the anime, and I gotta tell you, this is a really beautiful world that this man created. It was a very fascinating world to throw into, and it's also semi-close to reality, which makes the characters really easy to gravitate towards as well. Really interesting, the concept of the fact that devils are just known as a thing that happens, and the government even has a special force to deal with them, especially, you know, after tragedies like the Gun Devil, who killed millions of people. You know, it's kind of impossible to ignore at this point, so it's not like a thing where shows like Jujutsu Kaisen, where they keep everything that they do a secret. It's nice to be able to just do things out in the open like they're serving the public, even though they're not really doing it for the public. The storytelling is kind of fascinating, actually. It has such great shots, and the way that the conversations, even non-action scenes, are set up and aligned are really artistic and very, like, eerie and slow, well-paced, and interesting to look at. It's not just two people talking at each other. The second reason why this show is great is the characters. You know, there are so many characters in this show to love, and I have to admit that when I started out, I didn't really like that many of them. I mean, Makima, I'm always skeptical of her because she's terrifying. Denji, I didn't like his motivation at first, and obviously Kobeni tried to murder people when I first saw her, so, you know, not the greatest intro. But I will say that all of the characters grew on me a great deal as the series went on, and the first season is not even that long, folks. It's only 12 episodes. But from episode 1 to episode now 11, I have kind of fallen in love with Denji. I think he's a really great kid. My thing with him was that his motivation was so simple, but you know, it's kind of better that way because it speaks a lot about what his life has been like up to this point, where his life is so tragic. All he really wants are those simple pleasures, and why shouldn't he want for that? You know, I feel like people are ragging on him too much. He's also a teenager, so you know, teen boy obsessed with boobs, I don't think that's that out of the ordinary. Aki I also love. I think he's a great straight character because, you know, every anime has one. And I even like that they kind of addressed that he is a type of manga character by straight up calling him a manga character in real life, even though it's not real. He is a fascinating person to watch. His backstory was tragic, and I just want to see him succeed. And after meeting the future devil, I don't think that's going to happen. Makima is fascinating. So again, I'm anime only, so I don't know anything about her motivation, basically, and from the very first scene that she was in, I was super skeptical of her and had no idea what was going on with her whole personality. I don't know. I am so scared of her, even though she's technically on our side. We'll see how long that lasts. I enjoyed Power as well. Power is a really great addition, even though she's super conceited and she can be annoying at times. I think she's really fun to have around, and her personality kind of grows on you. Plus, the kitty storyline humanized her so much. All I need to see was her loving a cat, and I was like, oh, She's great, we love her. And Kobeni deserves more credit than she actually gets. She is actually super talented, and after those recent episodes, I really began to appreciate her more and more. Obviously, she starts out scared, but she kind of proves herself to be a really complex character. I am frightened for her future after the last scene she had in the show, because she looks like she's going insane, but I do appreciate her talent, and I really like having her around. I think she is a very realistic portrayal of what a person would act like facing these types of enemies. Kishibe also is a fantastic character that I don't think gets enough credit. He is just a fun presence to have around. I mean, it's so classic to have the drunk master that is, disillusioned because they're old and everybody in this job dies young, but I think he works especially well, and he's so laid back even while he's fighting. It's fascinating to watch him. Plus, he kicks ass, so, any character that does that is great. But pretty much even without them, the whole cast is really fun to have around. Every time somebody is taken from us, I actually get pretty upset because I wanted to learn more about all the characters. I won't go into specifics for spoilers, of course, but I don't know. I'm pretty mad about who we have ended up with at the end of this first season. Number 3 is the animation. Now, this one is kind of like the most obvious one, but this show is beautifully animated. So it's done by Mappa, and everything that Mappa touches kind of becomes this incredible piece of art. For some reason, I think they nailed the blending of the 2D and 3D. I've heard some complaints about that, but honestly, those people are kind of incorrect. No, I'm joking, it's your opinion, but still, I appreciate the 2D and 3D blending a lot. I think it's so hard to tell when they're actually using the CGI and when they're actually drawing the characters up front. Even without the fight scenes, the way regular scenes are shot and told, not only because the original work is so great, but because of the animation, is beautiful. Everyone is so expressive. The movement is so fluid. It's just, every scene is a treat to watch. Every scene is given the amount of atmosphere necessary for what the mangaka intended. The expressions are so detailed that you can't even, tell what people are thinking most of the time. See this bitch right here. I never know what she's thinking. And it's an anime. The facial expressions, usually are very simple to read. Nope. Not hers. It's impossible. I'd like to mention a few specific fights. Kobeni versus the Katana Devil, Denji versus the Bat Devil, the Eternity Devil, and oh my god, every single fight in this show is so much fun to watch. Plus, because the source material is so good, the powers are actually interesting to watch unfold and see how they're animated and portrayed. When I read the first few chapters of the manga after watching the show, I found it really interesting to see how the powers looked and how they were actually animated on screen. I think they took quite a few liberties, but actually did really, really well sticking to what was written on the page. Number 4, the gore. Now, I know not everyone's a fan of gore, and obviously it can be gratuitous in some shows and unnecessary, but I think that gore sometimes helps to give this show an overly gritty and eerie and uncomfortable feeling. How disgusting all of the devils look is obviously not by accident, they're supposed to look horrid to us, they're supposed to be disgusting monsters, and even the ones who are friends, oftentimes their powers, not fun to look at, lots of blood. It doesn't take away from the story, which is I think where gore goes too far sometimes. It's actually used to service the story and kind of bring about the feeling that was originally intended. Plus, this show is so I don't know, it feels so hardcore because of all of the gore, the death, the music, which I'll talk about in a second, and the way it's animated. It just all comes together to become a very, very, uncomfy and disgusting experience in the best way possible. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't watched it yet, shit is nasty, my friends. I would be careful. That scene with Makima that I mentioned before is straight up vomit-inducing, so. And number 5 is the soundtrack. Now, the final part to this little puzzle that makes the show perfect is the tracks that were originally created for it in the background. Not only is the OP amazing, forget that one, I'm talking about the tracks that are actually in the show. Because every scene is scored so wonderfully. They do the action amazing with these nice modern percussive songs that really ramp up the energy, and they really hold that gritty feeling as well that the, actual art and gore gives to the story. But also, in those conversations where we're trying to figure people out or things are becoming a little scary, maybe, the score absolutely changes to match that. They use some very dissonant chords and some awesome instruments that really make you feel on edge and contribute so well to that whole ambiance that they're trying to build. But that is pretty much everything about Chainsaw Man that I love. Let me know if I left anything out that you love about this show, but I think I pretty much covered it all for me. The setting is not anything super special, but I feel like that's included in the world part, where I loved the world that was created. It's modern, so it's not like we're learning about a bunch of places. It's real life adjacent, and it's not at the forefront of the story. There's many other interesting things to focus on, like the thousands of demons that are out there. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff, and support us further on Patreon if you enjoy, at patreon.com/TV_wins. There you can get videos early, like days or weeks early before they come out on YouTube. You can get full access to our reactions, so you don't have to watch it cut down, and you can vote on whatever you want to see on the channels. Comments do that too, though, so get commenting. What do you want to see next? If you're an anime fan, what anime do you want me to review? I haven't seen all of them, so I can't promise I've watched it, but I'm trying to film here, lady. But anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Again, support us further if you want, but if you can't, just commenting, watching, doing anything is a-okay with me. It's very nice of you. So I will see you guys next time, and goodbye.